Hello children, how are you all? I hope you are keeping fit and healthy at home. Myself Divya Sharma from Shivjyoti Educational Group, Kota. Children, today we will be doing chapter number 14 as revision in social studies. So you can take out your books, Getting Ahead in Social Studies, chapter number 14, page number 101. Conserving our environment. We will cover the important topics of the chapter. Points to remember: environment, kinds of pollution and its control, kinds of waste, reducing waste, recycling biodegradable waste, reducing pollution. Now, as you know that environment is everything that makes up the surroundings of a living thing. Everything which surrounds you is nothing but your environment, and it consists living and non-living things. But over the years, human beings, to make their lives comfortable, they have been harming the environment, and also they have been polluting the environment. Now, what is pollution? Pollution is the contamination of the air by the discharge of harmful substances in air, water or land. So, here we come to kinds of pollution, that is air pollution, water pollution, land pollution. Now, how does air pollution causes? Due to smoke which comes out from the factories or vehicles, and due to burning of fuels at homes. And how can you control? You can reduce the consumption of fuels at home, and also you can install air filters in factory chimneys. Okay. Now, water pollution. The waste which is created at your homes or waste which is created at factories, they are directly thrown into the rivers, which causes water pollution. And how it can be controlled? Reduce the use of pesticides and insecticides, and also you should segregate the waste before disposing it in water bodies. Now, coming on to land pollution, sometimes you throw the waste on land or you bury it in the soil. This causes land pollution. Fine. Now, how it can be controlled? You can again segregate the waste into biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste and then dispose it off properly. Now, types of waste. First of all, understand what is waste. The thing which is no more useful to us is nothing but waste. So, types of waste are biodegradable waste and non-biodegradable waste. Biodegradable waste easily mixes up with the soil and gets rot, whereas non-biodegradable waste does not mix with the soil. Now, how can you reduce the waste? To conserve our environment, we must follow the policy of 4 R's. If we follow the policy of 4 R's, we can easily help in reducing the waste which is generated. So, first is refuse. Refuse the things which adds to garbage, like using polythene bags. You should avoid using polythene bags, and instead if you are going for shopping, you can carry your own cloth bag. Thereby what you are doing? You are reducing the waste. Reduce the purchase, okay, of the things which adds to garbage. Again, sometimes you end up buying more vegetables or fruits, and after some time, if you are not able to consume it properly, they get rot and ultimately you have to throw it. Now, reuse. Instead of throwing the plastic bottles, pickle bottles, jam bottles, you can reuse them in the kitchen to store things. Last is recycling. The things which are no more useful to us are considered as waste. It might be waste for us, but it can be given to the waste collector for recycling, like your paper, plastic bottles, metal cans. They can be given to the waste collector. He further sends it to the factories where these all are recycled, and finally a new product comes out of it. So, this way, by following the 4R policy, you can conserve your environment. Now, recycling biodegradable waste. Biodegradable waste, if recycled, it can be helpful for the environment. How? It can be recycled by the process of composting. What is composting? Wherein you bury the biodegradable waste in the soil for at least 2 months, and it will rot and it will change into compost. And this compost is excellent for the growth of plants. So, what you are doing? You are recycling the biodegradable waste, which is again helpful for the environment, and it is recycle by the process of composting, and finally you get compost, which is manure, which is excellent for the growth of plants. Now, how can you reduce pollution? By easily following this: planting more trees, walk or cycle short distances to save fuel. To save fuel and to make your environment clean also, you can walk or cycle short distances. Do not waste electricity, unnecessarily do not waste electricity, switch off the lights and fans if not needed. Use alternate sources of energy like your solar energy. Control the use of pesticides and insecticides. You should control the use of pesticides and insecticides, because when it rains they again get mixed up with the water, which also pollutes the land. So it is causing land and water pollution both. Manage your household waste better. As I told you, you should segregate the waste properly into biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste. Therein you are managing your household waste better. So children, this was all about the quick recap of the important topics which were covered in the chapter. Now have a look at the internal questions. What is the reason of global warming and climate change? On page number 102 you will find this question. Increasing levels of carbon dioxide in the air is believed to cause global warming and climate change. As we read in the chapter earlier that the increased amount of carbon dioxide in the air and methane gas leads to global warming, and therefore it is resulting in climate change. What are the causes of land pollution? Land pollution is caused by excessive use of fertilizers and pesticides. So you should control the use of pesticides and insecticides. What do you mean by 4 Rs? As we read these 4 Rs, 4 Rs are used to conserve the environment, that is refuse, reduce, reuse and recycle. Coming on to the bookwork now. First question is match the problems to their solutions. Here you have been given the problems and here you have been given the solution. So you have to match it accordingly. Land pollution, proper disposal of garbage. If you dispose your garbage which is created at home, if you dispose it properly, you are controlling land pollution. Broken glass disposal, recycle. Send it for recycling. Water pollution, treating sewage. Water pollution, as I told you, the waste which is directly thrown in the water bodies, if it is managed properly, then you are controlling water pollution. Air pollution, air filters in factories. If you install air filters in factory chimneys, they will help to take the smoke which creates air pollution. Fruits rotting at home, again reduce the purchase. B question, fill in the blanks. Everything around us makes up our environment. As we read, it can consist of non-living and living things. Burning of fuels cause air pollution. Drinking polluted water can cause several diseases. It's obvious, if you drink polluted water, you will get many diseases. Waste paper is biodegradable waste because it can be recycled. When you use a plastic bottle to store water in the refrigerator, you are reusing. Obviously, if you are storing a plastic water bottle, then you refill it again for use. So what you are doing, you are reusing that. Rotting of leaves can produce manure called compost, which we read that how can you recycle biodegradable waste. Now multiple choice questions. Which of the following is biodegradable? A is the correct answer, leather belt. Which of these is not human made? Mountain, as it is a natural feature. Which of these natural resources is most affected by increasing fuel consumption? That is air. If you increase the consumption of fuel, the most affected natural resource is air. Saving electricity helps the environment by reducing the consumption of fuels. Which of these will not rot even if left for a long time? That is plastic bag, as it is a non-biodegradable waste. When composting biodegradable waste, which of the following are you doing? You are recycling, as we learned recycling of biodegradable waste. Now coming on to the copy work. Define environment. Environment is everything that makes up the surroundings of a living things and other natural resources. Example, air, soil, water, plants and animals. This all consists your environment. As I told you that it consists of living and non-living things. How can water pollution be reduced? Water pollution can be reduced by treating sewage and waste from homes and factories before disposing them in water bodies. As we read that if we treat the sewage waste which is generated at factories or at your homes before disposing it in water bodies, it should be segregated properly. Now, what are the main causes of air pollution? How can it be reduced? The burning of fuels in houses, smoke from factories and vehicles are the main causes of air pollution. Air pollution can be reduced by planting trees and placing air filters in factory chimneys. Now, as we learned that air pollution is caused due to fuels which are burnt in houses and the smoke which comes out of the factories and vehicles, and its control is by afforestation, and you can place air filters in the factory chimneys. Write 3 ways in which we can contribute to reducing pollution. How can you reduce pollution? We can contribute towards reducing pollution by planting trees, walking or cycling to nearby places, saving electricity. What is composting? What are its advantages? Composting is the process of burying biodegradable waste in the soil and turning it into manure, which can be used as fertilizers for crops. As we read, if you bury the biodegradable waste in the soil, it will rot and it will change into manure, which is called compost, and further it is very excellent for the growth of plants. How can refusing result in reduction of garbage? Refusing plastic bags and using your own cloth bags help in generating less waste, thus it reduces garbage. As I told you, if you refuse the use of plastic bags and if you are going for shopping, if you carry your own cloth bags, you are reducing the garbage. Okay. Question 5. How should waste like metal and glass pieces be disposed of? Metal and glass items can be given to the waste collector who supply in factories to make new things. As I told you, waste which is no more useful to you, you can give it to the waste collector who further supplies in factories where they are being recycled to make new things. Give 2 examples of reuse. Plastic bottles can be reused to store water. Newspapers can be reused to make paper bags. If we reuse your plastic bottles and newspapers, it is one of the examples of reusing. Now, question number 7, explain the difference between biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste. Give 3 examples of each. Biodegradable waste. Biodegradable waste rots and mixes with the soil. As I told you, it easily mixes with the soil. Biodegradable waste comes from plants and animals. You get the biodegradable waste from plants and animals. Example is vegetables, leaves, flowers, food waste, etc. Non-biodegradable waste. Non-biodegradable waste does not rot and mix with the soil. It does not rot and mixes with the soil. It can remain for a long period of time. Non-biodegradable waste comes from plastic and related things. Example, metal, cans, plastic bag, glass, etc. Non-biodegradable waste comes from plastic and it does not rot easily, and example of these are metal, cans, plastic bag and glass. So this was all about chapter number 14 revision. For the detailed explanation, you can refer to the previous video, read the chapter, complete the bookwork and mark the internal questions. Thank you.